So if you take a person that's struggling with their finances in their current situation right now, I feel like back in the day, the advice would have been, okay, we'll start cutting back a little bit on your expenses, start saving a little bit more money. Whereas now, if you're reiterating your strategy, it seems as though the best solution would be to try to take on some more work or be more creative in making more money. So what would you say to a person that's struggling right now in 2025? Should they lean more into cutting their finances, or should they lean more into trying to expand on their income?
Oh, the answer is the same as it was 30 years ago. Both. Yeah. In the old days, we would just say, go deliver pizzas, which now is DoorDash or whatever, right? But we say, go to Papa John's. They'll hire you if you can breathe and you bathed and maybe bathed. And, and you can deliver pizza, right? And when you go to the front door and people ask how you're doing, say better than I deserve, because that way they might know that you're listening to this show. That's why you're working an extra job. They'll give you extra tip. And so use the code and so get your income up. Yeah. And cut your expenses. And the same thing's true today. Get your income up, cut your expenses. The difference is that if you are a teacher, there's no reason you should do DoorDash. You should do online tutoring at $50 an hour. And you can set it up in about 45 minutes. And if you want to get your income up, I mean, it's just, if you've got a PhD in something, on online classes, you can make seriously good money as your side hustle, And so you've got, again, the world that we live in today just gives you so much ease of entry into things. You don't have to get in your Chevy Chevette and deliver a Papa John's. There's a lot of stuff you can do to get your income up temporarily with an unreasonable number of hours and, an unhealthy work-life balance temporarily, because you have an unhealthy freaking mess you created and you've got to dig out of it. And so, and you got to sell the car that's 50% of your dadgum income. And so, and you got to not go on vacation, and you don't need to see the inside of a restaurant unless you're working there until you get this stuff straightened out. So you got to do both. You got to get your income up and your out go down. And that's called margin. And the more extreme you do that, the more margin you'll have, and the less time you'll spend in hell, the faster you'll get out. So I recommend ripping the Band-Aid off. I mean, like, make your broke friends think you've joined a cult. I mean, go bananas for a short period of time. That intensity gets you out so much faster than trying to wander out.
Let's say you seize control of a person's life that's not doing great financially. They're a little confused, a little lost. Maybe let's just say they're 25 years old. This is not supposed to be me. I'm 26 for the record.
Not
so
Jack.
This is someone else, and they're not pleased with where they're at. What exactly would you do? Would you be like, okay, get a job, work 80 hours, find a girlfriend you want to make your wife, find a local church? What would be like the actual directional things that you would tell them to do?
My friend Henry Cloud is writing a book right this second on a concept he's taught for years called figure out what your desired future is, and then reverse engineer out of your desired future. This is where I want to be, and this is where I am. Then if where I am is not where I want to be, what must be true that's not true now for me to get there? And so that will lead you then to the tactical things that you're pointing to once you solve that. What must be true for me to be the 10-year from now version of me to have this net worth, have a career that looks like this, a spiritual walk that looks like this, a physical condition that looks like this, a relationship with good friends, high quality relationships, and possibly even one of those being your life mate, your partner, your wife. What does the perfect version of 10 years from now look like, and then reverse engineer what must be true to get there. And so if I want a robust spiritual walk, that'd be involved in, if you're Jewish, you'd head off to the synagogue. If you're Christian, you'd head off to a good church. Or if you're not anything, head off to a good church and figure it out, right? And be forewarned, there are people in those churches that aren't perfect, but that's why they're there too. So, but either way, you can learn things there. Oh, and watch who you hang around with, because you're going to become who you hang around with. And so if all your friends are sitting and doom scrolling all day long and don't have any ambition, and all they do is smoke pot and doom scroll, you can pretty well be assured that 10 years from now, you're going to look just like who you hang around with. Be not deceived. Evil company corrupts good habits. You will become who you hang around with. All the data shows that. Tons of research that shows that not only your physical condition, the words you use, the books you read, the movies you like, you become who your crew is. And so pick them carefully.
What are the biggest problems you see today with men when it comes to work, life, money, and family?
Men have been devalued and trivialized and been the villain or the clown of everything for a good 20 years. You don't see a TV commercial where the dad is the hero, he's an idiot, or a sitcom where the dad is the hero, he's an idiot. The 12-year-old is the smart one, and they smart off through the whole script. And they're the brilliant one, And but the dad's a doofus, and the mother rolls her eyes at the doofus that she picked as a life partner. And if you do that to any segment of the economy long enough, eventually they begin to believe it. And so we have 7.2 million men that are able-bodied, able-minded, that are not engaged in the workplace right now. They're doing nothing. They're sitting. Because the entire culture has said, you're a doofus, you're a buffoon, you're valueless, manhood, masculinity is toxic by its very nature, and so you're of no value. And the problem is it's destroying not only economics, but social fabric as well. Because we do know the data on kids, particularly daughters, the cues they take from their dad are devastatingly impactful, good or bad. And so an engaged dad who builds confidence and gives their daughter hugs growing up until she leaves home, and even after she leaves home, builds a confident daughter, a daughter that is not sexually promiscuous, a daughter that finishes college, a daughter that will not be victimized in the marketplace. That comes from their dads. The data shows that. And so when the dad is not engaged, it's horrible for the social fabric. And it messes with sons too, but it's a different thing. The father wound on us sons is different, but and it's very real. But but economically speaking, what we're doing is we've got 7.2 million of these guys doing nothing, zero. They're being supported by a disability check, and they're not disabled, but they signed up and claimed disability. They're being supported by their girlfriend, their mother. They're being supported by something else. They are not generating an income in the marketplace. And so their personal dignity has just eroded. And to get those people back re-engaged, if we open up a whole bunch of factories in America because manufacturing comes back to America with this Trump stuff, I don't know who's going to be in there working. I don't think those guys want to go back in there. I think they have gotten pretty comfortable sitting on their couch and lost hope. And so we've got to say, okay, being male is not evil. Being male is not necessarily holier either, but it's not evil. And it is different than being female. And it is a thing. And ladies can produce wonderful, creative things and wonderful incomes in the economy, and so can gentlemen. And so, let's go be gentlemen and ladies, and let's go do the best things we can for our society, for our culture, our community, and each other, and get re-engaged and quit telling everybody that the worst possible thing you could be is a white guy. It's like the worst human on the planet in America. It's the only one in America that no one takes up for.
If you've ever been denied a car loan, credit card, or even an apartment because of what's on your credit report, you are not alone. Most people don't even know what's hurting their credit score, let alone how to fix it. That is exactly where our sponsor DisputeBeast comes in. It's an AI-powered platform that helps you find and remove outdated or inaccurate items from your credit report fast.
We're talking things like late payments, old accounts and collections, or even accounts that don't belong to you. Not to mention how it works is super easy. You connect your credit report report, and DisputeBeast scans it for negative marks that could be dragging down your score. Then it generates custom dispute letters tailored for your situation, no templates and no guesswork.
You could choose to just download the data and send it to the agencies yourself, or you can use their built-in mail service where they will literally handle everything for you.
It's honestly just really clean and simple to use, and it's built by experts.
So if you're ready to take back control of your credit, go to disputebeast.com/ICH today. There's also a link down below in the description, disputebeast.com/ICH. Guys, they will literally handle everything for you. If you're dissatisfied with your credit, they will do all of the research, let you know what's going wrong, and they will fight for you. disputebeast.com/ICH. Thank you so much to DisputeBeast for sponsoring this clip.